Okay, guys, today inshallah we're gonna pass to chapter 19. So we're already done of chapter 18, which we studied ecology and the limiting factors that could limit the amount of populations or the size of different populations in a certain ecosystem. And then we know the different kinds of interaction that could be found among different populations in an ecosystem. So today we're going to just somehow pass to the other hand, which is the abiotic factors or how the environment factors could change, okay, within an area. So first of all, we're going to start by section one, which is a cycle of matter, okay? So what is the cycle of matter and so on. So here we ask, what are the three different physical states of water that we are found on Earth? Name one way that you use water in each of these states in your daily life. Okay. So simply, that's a very simple question. So just tell me, what are the different three states of water, guys? Yes, Mihad.
solid وليكويد وجاز اللي
Yeah.
هو
Yep. Their names.
ووتر وايس ووتر فيبر.
So ice, water, and vapor. Okay, so somehow we could use them in our daily life. Okay, that's different. Okay, so like this, we find that water can be found in three states. In that lesson, guys, actually, we're gonna talk about the cycles of matter. My question: anyone ever could know or just give me why matter must be cycled or why matter is cycled already in the nature? Yes, Uta.
Master, can you repeat that?
Again, why the matter is already cycling in water? Why it's already in cycles?
Because the water evaporates, then returns,
No,
and
I don't ask it especially for the water, or I didn't ask what is the cycle. Why they are cycling? Anyone have an idea? That's mean why water must be cycled that take these different states, these different forms, and return again, so on like this, okay? Or whatever any matter, okay, they are in cycles. Why? Is the Plina?
So that it recycles
Again?
and the water is saved.
Uh, okay, that's not my question still. Yes, Hannah? Hannah, yes.
They must be recycled to. They must be recycled to make sure that all the n- nutrients and stuff continue to exist and the continual existence of
Okay,
living
good.
organisms.
So they must be recycled to ensure that they want to be available, okay, as a resources for the all living organisms. That's your answer, yes?
Yes.
Okay, somehow it's okay. So actually, guys, if you remember, we studied before in grade 8 something we called the law of conservation of mass, which means mass neither be created or destroyed. That means already once Allah created the earth with its components, water, rocks, different gases, oxygen, carbon dioxide, blah, 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 that we have specific amounts of these substances. And actually, okay, this is specific amounts of each substance, they still the same, okay, from or the moment Allah created the same amount, but in different forms. So these different forms which caused by the cycling of war. So as the different reactions happen or different physical changes that happen to different matters, okay, within time, that we call different forms to keep the same amount but of substance that already created. So as we receive the energy from the sun, this energy, okay, already empower different cycles, or this energy give the earth the initial, okay, force or the initial energy needed to cycle a lot of substances in our life to ensure, as Hannah said, that they could be available, okay, for different living organisms that they are gonna use it as resources. So simply in that section, actually, we're gonna talk about the recycling of different substances or the main substances or the main resources which we use, okay? So in that section, we're going to talk about the water cycle, the carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, okay, which I think that you know some info about them or you may heard about them before. So I think it will not be that hard. So like this, okay, I want you to watch the next video, guys, which talking about the water cycle. I need you to tell me, okay, the main, okay, four processes, okay, that's happen in, or the main three processes that's happen in natural in the water cycle. And also, okay, I need you to tell me, okay, why there is a problem in water, or why water considered as a limited resource. Okay, regarding to what the info you're gonna find, actually we know that 70% of the total Earth, okay, is covered by water. So why water considered as a limited resource, or there's a kind of struggling for water, and different nations they may suffer from shortage of water and something like that. So let's watch the video and try to answer, okay, the following questions. Okay, so here by the end of the video you should be able to answer the following question, guys. I'm gonna write the questions for you. Press here. What are the three major processes in our cycle? Okay, that's question number one. Question number two here. Why water is considered and finally here we need to summarize okay guys, that's what we're supposed to do after watching the video. Is it clear? Clear guys?
Yes, mister.
So let's here just write the question down to not forget what you're supposed to do, or just could get a picture. So let's start here. Okay guys, was it clear guys?
Yes, mister.
Okay, so
Yes,
here
mister.
let's see, we find actually we have more than 3 steps. What are the major 3 processes that happen in water cycles? Who can answer this question guys? Okay, yes, Hani.
Evaporation,
So we could find that they are evaporation. Good, so evaporation. What else?
condensation,
So evaporation, condensation. Good. What else?
precipitation.
Good. Okay. So like that, actually, we find that we have major 3 steps, which is evaporation, condensation, precipitation. So anyone can tell me, okay, the other 2 steps regarding to what you watch? Okay. So we still have this Laura.
Runoff and percolation.
Yes, runoff and percolation. Good. So that's here 5 major steps that they actually happen. Okay, or they are run. So who can tell me what mean by evaporation, guys? Regarding to what we watch, what is evaporation? Just raise your hand if you know the answer. Okay. Yes, Farah.
Evaporation is when water turns into water vapor.
Yeah, good. So evaporation is the process that happens once the water turn into water vapor. Okay. So here, like this, guys, we could find that once the heat of the sun, okay, or the sun already heats the water bodies, which are oceans, rivers, lakes, ponds, and even seas. Okay, all these they are gonna just the water particles will get some heat energy, and they will start to evaporate faster and move further, turning into water vapor. So this water vapor rises in the atmosphere. So what is condensation, guys? Okay. Yes, Hana Yasser?
Condensation is when the water vapor or the gas turn to a liquid and become droplets in the clouds.
So good, actually. Okay, in condensation, we'll find that the evaporated water or the water vapor that already produced from the first burst, which is evaporation, it will rise in the atmosphere. Once it passes to higher elevation, the temperature drops, so the water vapor start to condense. That means return into liquid one more time, forming suspended water droplets in clouds. Okay, so we call this condensation, and then this cloud will be moved from place to another because of the wind, and then we pass to the third first, which is precipitation. What happens in precipitation, or what is meant by precipitation? Yes, Uta.
When water falls from Earth's surface to the cloud, from the
Yes, when actually water falls from the atmosphere to the lithosphere or to the ground, okay? Whatever the form that the water goes to the lithosphere, and it may be just fall in form of water, liquid water, it may be fall in form of ice, snow, sleet, hail, okay, whatever. So solid or liquid state, it doesn't matter, okay? That means the water just return back to the earth. But of course, once it returned back to the earth, what do you think, guys? The water will return to the same position where it's already evaporated from? All the water will back again to their place. What do you think, guys? Okay, yes, Adham.
No, I think
So
that
actually, later or maybe after the cycle, some were back to their position, but actually the water is redistributed, within the water cycles, because we know in some seasons we could find that there are lakes or ponds, they completely become dry, and they turn into vapor, they form clouds. These clouds will pass by the wind to another place in the earth, and then they start to pour precipitations, so maybe a dry place turn to have, or they have a lake or a pond that for a while, and so on. So actually the water is redistributed, from time to time. Even the water level in some rivers, oceans, and lakes change, within time. So like this, we know that so after the water precipitate, or that means after the water backs again to the ground, what would happen? What would happen, guys? Guys, who can tell me? Other people? Let's wake up. Okay, Sama, could you tell me? Already the water, falls down in whatever the form is. So what would happen to the water? Guys.
answer.
No, we just need a new one. So yes, Mahad.
it would run off and go on the land.
So actually the water will run off. It will keep moving, running over the water surface, and it just create, yes, so we're gonna create canals, lakes, and finally they will pass to oceans, rivers, and seas, so that's their final destination. And some of this water actually will seeps underground, forming the underground water, which called percolation, process. So like this, in that case, the water back again to the lithosphere or the earth. So then some water will be heated again by the sun energy and make evaporation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, and percolation. And so it's keep doing with the same steps. So like this, we know the different or the major steps of the water cycle, and the question here, which is important, why water is considered to be limiting factor? We already just answered this question, so why water considered to be a limiting factor in some ecosystem, or in certain places, certain areas, water could be considered as a limiting factor? Yep. Yes, Adham.
Because water could it because not all of the water is drinkable. Only a small amount, 1% is drinkable.
Yep, good. Actually, guys, here, as you watch in the video, some statistics in the beginning of the video, it represents that the entire planet Earth, just use about 1% or 1% of water on the Earth that could be found in usable form, which is fresh water and liquid state. Actually, 70% of the
Because
Earth is covered by water, but actually, of these 70%, 97.5% is salty water, which found in oceans, seas, and some lakes. So we cannot use it
and
as a resource for drinking and irrigation of
and
plants
two
and so
other
on. Yep,
and the 2% are
2%, which
frozen water.
yes. So just we have 2.5% left. This which represent the fresh water. Most of these 2.5%, represent just frozen water, or the are found in form of ice, which is also hard to be used. So just all of us, all the living organisms, animals, plants, humans, okay, and all living organisms all over, okay, the world, they just share 1% of water that is recycled. That means, as we said, it's redistributed, which means some places sometimes they have water in a certain season or center years. After time, they dry and turn to another place and so on. So like this water is not that available, okay, so much for all ecosystems. So sometimes some ecosystem they suffer of shortage of water, okay, like for example in deserts, okay. So they just have or receiving water in few time in the year, okay, while the entire year they have shortage of water. So like this, it's considered as a limiting factor, okay. Sometimes water is not that available, which cause, okay, that living earth will be in competition for water, and that will not support their life. So the number of populations will decrease. So any hard question regarding to the water cycle, guys? I think
No,
it's
sir.
easy,
No.
yes?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, so like this water cycle is easy, okay? It's very, very easy. So here I just want to refer to something. Look with me carefully here. So we talk about the water cycle. So we just, sorry. So here, that's this diagram represent the water cycle, as we said. So we are gonna find that evaporation is really happening from all the water bodies, okay, and then condensation forming cloud, then precipitation. Here we have something called transpiration. Okay, so what transpiration means? Actually, transpiration is the process in which water, okay, vapor, or the plant loses water in form of water vapor. It's look like sweating in human, okay, but because as we know that we have in some certain places like in tropical forests and deciduous forests, we have large trees. These trees, okay, actually they could share with a large amount of water vapor. So transpiration considered one of the processes which is important to release some of the water vapor to the atmosphere. Okay, guys, is it clear here? Any hard question? Anyone can't understand any point in the water cycle here?
No, thank you.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, so like this, we really that's water considered one of the most important and essential resources, okay, in our life. So we know how the water is cycled like this, and we could predict it, okay. If we ask what is the importance of water for life, you could find that we depend on water in a lot of things, okay. They consider, okay, to be the main one of the main nutrients for the plants, which plants already initiate the food chain or initiate the food web. So that means all living organisms they depend. Beside that, all living organisms, even animals, they need water as a drinkable water, okay, that's to ensure the amount of water in their cells, because all the biological functions they just work in presence of water and so on. So of course we know that water is very, very important and necessary for all living organisms, guys. Now we're gonna pass to another hand, okay, so or another resource which is very, very important in nature, which is also the carbon, okay, cycle. Carbon is very important. So why carbon is important? Because actually carbon considered is one of the most important element or component of all the organic material. That means all the cells of living organism and the organic material that found in nature, they contain carbon. So carbon is very, very important. So we need to watch the next cycle, okay, or next video, which just describe what happened in water in carbon cycle, and you to also summarize the major steps that happen in this cycle. Okay, guys, are you ready? Are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.